What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Dude, it's better than your intro. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, Brian. How was your week?
Yeah. Oh, my week has actually been weird.
Let's talk about your week because we've already know a little bit about your week.
All right. So, starting last Sunday at 11 p.m., I ate my last meal, and I did not eat again until today, which is Thursday.
How many hours is that?
84 hours.
84 hours fasting.
Yeah, I was going after the Dana White type fast, and he
Right.
does like a 72-hour fast. I did it a little different.
Okay.
I did drink the electrolytes like that he recommended, which you got to have
Okay.
because you got to stay hydrated.
Right.
You get headaches,
Did you have any headaches?
minor, but nothing bad.
Just like a foggy head or
No, it's pretty clear-headed the whole time. I mean, but you definitely get hunger pains.
guts rumbling?
Yeah, but just from hunger.
Did you have did you have diarrhea?
Yeah, I shit water a little bit.
Okay. I would because I've done it too.
'Cause that was the only-
longest
that
I've
was the
ever
only
done was
thing.
28.
Yeah, which is long. I mean, that's what I didn't even intend to do it the entire 3 days. I knew I wanted to do it, and I just said, I'm just going to try it and give it one day.
So you did it. You said that you did it not. You didn't want to just lose weight. You did it for the health reasons.
Yeah, I kept seeing, so like some people, you fast just to lose weight, and it works,
Yeah.
but then you always hear stuff that, fasting in general, 18-hour fast daily does a lot of good stuff for your body.
Right.
When your body's not processing food, it can help heal itself and do different
Right.
things.
So I think it's after like 15 hours, your inflammation goes down. 18 hours, it starts killing your dead cells, your cancer cells.
I don't know about I think the cancer cells,
that
from
after
what I've heard, is more like they focus around like 72 hours.
72 hours?
Everything I kept seeing, that's what was focused about 72 hours, somewhere in that range is when it has the
Oh, I
ability
thought it
to
was
do that.
sooner than that.
No, that's why I did the full 3-day fast, and that's why I did not. The only difference I did is, like I said, I did the electrolytes, but I did not do the bone broth like Dana White did. On day 2 and day 3, he would have 2 servings of a specific bone broth, but that's got calories.
Right.
So everything I saw says, anything with calories will break your fast, which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I skipped the bone broth and just went all out.
So how many pounds do you think you lost?
At least 10. I made the mistake because I didn't think I was going to do this. I was just messing around the first day, and then, but you can easily, you can drop, 3 to 5 pounds a day.
Oh, yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're just fasting a really long fast for that
Right.
day. That's
Right.
not hard. But I think it was somewhere. It's
Speedo season. It's time to fast.
well, we're in February
Well,
now.
you prepare now
Yeah,
for the summer.
yeah. But it was it was
Worked
kind
out
of
every day this month.
Hell
Hey, that's a start, man.
yeah. You got to get ready.
But you and I both know that, man.
February
The
1st.
key to the key to being thin, is fasting.
Fasting, yeah. You can't. So I know I try to put on weight this winter, and that's easy to do. I got up to 180 real quick. Summertime, you fast, or prior to summertime, you start fasting or whatever, and then the HIIT workouts. But when you fast, you really don't have to work out that hard. I like to work out, So if you fast, and you're working out, especially the HIIT workouts, man, that comes off and you'll have a 6-pack in a second. I think people don't realize, just grit it and just do it. And it'll come off and you're like, oh, wow, I'm proud of myself.
But you can't.
And it wasn't that hard.
You can't just fast and then sit at a desk for
No, you have to
all
put
day
in
and then
some
come
work.
home and sit on the couch. You have to do shit.
Yeah, you still,
Well,
if you want to get a 6-pack, you have to do that.
Yeah, you can, but it'll still. I mean, even if you're sitting around and you're just
help,
docile, then you'll still drop weight.
Oh, yeah,
But of
you'll
course
still
you're gonna.
drop
The
it.
more you're moving and everything, yeah, you're definitely gonna drop even more.
And what's cool about fasting is that, say you do an 18-hour fast a week, so lunch you have just a real light lunch or whatever, and at dinner, man, you can eat whatever you want to.
Yeah, well,
at dinner.
It's like OMAD, the one meal a day. We talked about this before, but
Yeah.
one meal a day, which a lot of people do. It'll, you give your body that entire, roughly 24 hours or 23 hours to fast.
Yeah.
and then you can take in, you can eat just some crazy
You
meal.
eat cakes.
You can eat. I mean, it's better to have a specific caloric intake of the certain nutrients you need, which is going to do better. But still,
Right.
you can still eat a bunch of crap
Yeah.
and still drop weight.
Oh yeah. And I don't think that people go fasting. I can't do it. I can't do it. I remember the first time I did it. Yeah, I got the headaches. I didn't hydrate like I was supposed to, and that was years ago. And then I think it was last summer or the summer before. I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. I read enough about it. I knew my intake and what I should do. And for lunches, yeah, you're having a tuna salad or a chicken salad for lunch. That's fine. And then at dinner, you eat. I was eating so much because I was so hungry. And we're having lasagna, steaks, pasta, whatever. And then you don't eat after 8 o'clock. And then by the time you go to sleep, 8 o'clock the next morning, that's 12 hours. And then you don't eat until noon. That's another, 15 hours? And then you go, oh, I'm going to eat at 2. Eat my salad at lunch or at 2. Dude, and it just fell off.
Well, you just gotta. Most people, they struggle with it, and I did the same thing. At first, I was so accustomed. I would wake up in the morning, I would have a protein shake, and then I might eat some small meals throughout the day. And I was always trained. And people tell us like, oh yeah, you need 5, 6 small meals a day, spread out.
metabolism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to keep your metabolism going. This, but I don't agree with that anymore.
Well, I don't either because I used to do that. And yeah, did I lose? And yes, and I was working out and doing all kinds of freaking cardio. And yes, it's like I had to work out harder than it is to work out fasting. Yes, did I have a 6-pack when I was eating the small 6 meals a day? Yes. But I was working out way harder. Fasting and just doing a minimal workout every day. Minimal, like 30, 45 minutes. Nothing heavy, just light and just a lot of reps. That stuff fell off. Just fell off.
Well, think about it. Like when you fast that long and then you eat your meals, like in general, you're going to eat less calories than you do. Like it's hard. If you want to do, you can do 5 or 6 small meals a day, but you better be real careful about the actual calorie content of all those meals. You still have to be at a deficit.
Do you remember how you used to talk about macros, counting your macros?
Yeah.
Which I don't know a lot of people that are dedicated enough to actually count macros. I don't even really know. I just like counting calories. I don't even know what the difference between macros and calories are. I don't know.
Dude, macros are just, okay, so you have your total calorie content that you eat. Say you eat 2,000 calories a day.
That's a normal human's.
Yeah,
like,
that's what they
baseline.
say. So all the macros is it's taking that, say, 2,000 calories and then breaking it down between proteins, fats, and carbs. And it's the mixture and the proportion of each of those that you're eating. So you don't want to eat 2,000 calories a day that are nothing but carbs and fats.
True.
You want to eat, say, 2,000 calories a day that are 40% protein, and then the other 60% is split between carbs and fats.
Right.
Like, so it matters. It matters what the content of the calories you eat every day, but to lose weight, you have to be at a deficit every day.
Yeah, you have to be at a deficit.
Yeah, and you can get it at a deficit by eating a certain amount and then burning off some crazy amount, or you can not burn a crazy amount and just eat a lower calorie intake.
Yeah.
And you can still lose weight.
Right. And, so if anybody listens to this and, like, say that they're really overweight and they just try, like, say, a 10-hour fast, like, little. Like, just start a little.
I would say
8 hours.
even if they would just skip breakfast.
Yeah. Yes.
That would
and
be
take
beneficial.
a walk. Don't lift weights. Just take a walk and skip breakfast. You'd be amazed
Yeah.
how much stuff.
Food is more important than working out. Like,
Yes, I would agree with that. Yes.
You
for,
can.
for fat loss.
Yeah, I mean, you can work out every day for 2 hours a day and still eat like shit,
And nothing's gonna happen.
and ain't nothing, or you still get thicker.
Yeah, or
You can tone
you'll
up a
have
little, but you don't.
you might have muscle tone, but you're gonna have a layer of blubber on your body.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I always like the analogy, and I use it. There was a guy I worked for that had a truck, and it was an old Ford that had a regular fuel tank, and then he had a reserve fuel tank, which I didn't know about. But so I equate that to like your regular fuel tank is your stomach.
Okay.
That's all the stuff you dump in your stomach every day. Your reserve fuel tank is your fat stores on your body.
Right.
So if you want to get to the point where you're burning off your fat stores or your reserve tank, you got to empty the other tank.
I agree.
So you empty the
100%.
primary tanks, your stomach, with food, and then you got to force it to go eat your fat stores.
Yep. I agree. 100%. I've done it. You've done it. There was last year. There was guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was guys calling me. It's like, hey Skip, don't tell anybody, but what are you doing? And you tell them, and some of them did it for a little bit, and they go, man, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's willpower, man.
It's willpower. Sometimes you got to be like hard-headed to yourself, to your body. It's like, yes, I'm waking up. Yes, I'm doing it. I'm so proud of my wife right now. She's been going to the gym, waking up early or whatever. It's been screwing up my schedule because I don't have the alone time in the shower in the morning anymore because she's getting prepared. And so,
What?
I gotta have my.
Well, it is. You're
Long
not there
time.
anymore. You know. You're.
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud of you too.
Yeah, you're getting after it. So it's it's willpower. It's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell your head? What are you gonna tell your head?
Yeah. If you got a,
You have to want it though.
You have to.
if you got a little bit of hunger pain and you can't get past that,
Yeah,
then
drink some
you
water.
don't want it. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it took me 4 months of setting my alarm, to get used to getting up and going that early. Because I didn't wake up till 7 o'clock. I'd get my shit together and go by 8. But now I'm up at 5:30 or 6, depending on what I'm gonna do for the day. And so it's like it took me 4 months to get into the mindset of waking up that extra early hour and a half.
Yeah. Again, a lot of it's in your head.
Yeah,
And
and it's like setting a goal. It's like we're going on vacation. Okay, I want to take 2 months. I'm going to do this.
That's a good thing for people to practice. Like, set a goal out in the future, like
Yeah.
that you want to achieve. You want to lose X amount of weight by this goal for this reason or whatever.
I think it's a lot for some people, because for me, it was like, yeah, okay, ideally I have this goal in my head, I want to look a certain way, right? But it's so unattainable when you're
Yeah.
45% body fat. It seems so out of the blue.
It
So what
seems
I said,
that.
right. So what I just told myself was, make it to the parking lot. And then once I made it to the parking lot, I'm like, all right, just go inside. And then just
some
walk
of
on the
some of it's
treadmill.
is just as simple as just get out of bed.
Exactly.
Just
But
get
that's
it,
my
yeah.
point. My point is, some people can't see the far future goal.
Yeah, people.
Right.
I have to see it as a day at a time, because then I overwhelm myself and I get fed up.
Then you
But
get
then-
depressed.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
then I'm
do
like, why
it.
isn't this working? It's only been 2 weeks, but why isn't this working?
So what's your goal? What's your end goal? Is it summertime or is it the wedding?
No, it's
Or is
just
it what?
because I'm gonna be 40 and I don't want to go into
Okay,
my 40s
that's
looking like a fat
perfect.
piece of shit.
That's perfect.
That's a
That's
great
it.
goal.
That's
And
perfect.
and I started when I was 38, so I have a year and a half.
Yeah.
to, like,
Max, what's your
really get
goal?
there.
What's your goal? Why do you want to get in shape?
I want to get in shape.
Okay.
Round is a
I'm
shape.
along for the ride, brother.
Why do you want to get in shape?
I do
'Cause
what I do,
I just
boo-boo.
like to be in shape, man.
You know why I get to stay in shape? Is because I like my buddy saying, you know what you call a 54-year-old with a six-pack?
Queer.
Gay!
Yeah.
And I like talking shit to them.
But you know what?
That's why I do it.
Our friends that say that, because they say the same shit to me too. Like,
Mhm.
you know what you call somebody over 40 with a six pack? You call them Skip or Skippy.
Yeah.
Like-
They know.
Because we're like one of the few that I don't think I have a six pack right now, but
I don't either.
we're closer than most.
We just talked about that this winter. It's like my wife wanted me to put on some weight. Yeah, it made my face fuller.
Yeah.
I didn't look as old. But
But
when
you
you
a
get a
little
six pack,
thicker.
there's a
Something,
yeah, dude.
something too we're missing on all this, and not to put an excuse out there, but a lot of people fight genetics.
I know that's definitely true.
Like,
Yeah,
Body-
you got to figure out. You got to study.
I am genetically inclined to be a big person, and I will probably be a barrel-chested motherfucker. But still, to this day, I'm not as high as I once was, but I can still run 3 miles, and I'm still strong.
It's easy. It's very easy for some people that are genetically disposed, just the way they're made up. Like it's easy for them. So other people's, it's extremely difficult. Like it depends on your body type.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like, okay, let's say that you're big bone and you're a thick dude or thick chick or whatever. It's still, you can be big, thick, stocky or whatever and
But
still be
fit.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Well, yeah,
more
you can
worried
be
about
fit
being
in any
healthy.
body type.
Yeah. And another thing about fasting is it actually like we said earlier, it kills off those cells, the cancer cells, and you don't have to.
Supposedly,
Yeah, you don't have to do it. 24-hour fasting daily. You can do it like 3 times a month or whatever, and it's awesome for your body. It resets your inflammation.
Yeah, they just say that once your body's not processing all the food that you dump into it, and you give it a chance to do other things, it can work in ways to heal itself.
Yeah, fast food. I haven't been to a fast food joint in forever.
Dude, I just went
food to me
last
is like
weekend,
Subway
man. I was
now.
thinking about going to Jack in the Box
What?
later.
My fast food is
last
the
weekend-
jerky that they sell at the corner store.
Oh, last weekend when I left here after last week, I went straight to Jack in the Box, man.
And you can eat semi-healthy at places like that. Like I've learned the things on the menu that are not deep fried or like I never get
grease
French
gets me.
fries. Like
Grease.
Oh, I went
F's me up.
straight up. I went straight up ultimate breakfast sandwich and breakfast Jack last weekend.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Every fast food
Oof.
place, except for maybe Sonic, has the option for a grilled chicken sandwich or
But some of those
Fiesta
grilled chicken
salad where
sandwiches
you
are
can-
bad.
yeah.
Taco
Bell's vegan food.
Well, even Jack in the Box, I saw a commercial the other day, and he was advertising these little wraps, and so it's like a piece of chicken, some lettuce, whatever, like in a tortilla, and he says specifically, like if you started the new year off wanting to eat like kind of healthy, like we got you.
Yeah.
Because it's not horrible calories. It's still processed.
It's still
Processed,
processed,
so
and they
crazy.
got all the stuff to
but
keep it from rotting.
but it's still a little bit lower. It's maybe half the calories of a
Sure.
hamburger that you and fries that
The
you would
chicken
get.
we buy at the freaking grocery store is
It's all
processed
processed.
shit.
That's
So
why I
it's
like buying the thin chicken breast because there's no
That's all
freaking
all
chicken
they did
this
was-
fucking big.
That all they did was thin them out like I do when I bring them home.
Yeah, it's the same chicken. They
It's
just
the
cut it
same
in half.
exact chicken, they just make it thinner. So that's what I do when I get those big old thick ones. I cut out all the fat and the tendon, and then I freaking fillet them and make them smaller. And it works in our favor
What happens with
because
all
we
the
end up getting
nitrogen
more.
when you cook it? When they pump them up with nitrogen or something?
I don't know. We're still eating
It
it.
I don't know.
what are the options?
Yeah,
Are
what's
we
the
gonna put
options?
Yeah,
chickens
and-
in our fucking
Unless
Free
and-
range
yeah.
fucking squirrel in the backyard.
Yeah, unless you're like raising your own chickens or slaughtering your own cattle. I mean, that's the
We're
only
at their
way to
mercy.
get. Yeah,
I mean, we have no option.
they have their teeth in like
So
every
why-
part of the food industry. I mean, so even if you do, it is healthier from a like calorie perspective and everything, but you're still getting all
Putting
those
that
chemicals and
processed
stuff.
chemicals, yeah.
Chemicals.
I mean, I could
Fuck the government.
take my happy ass down to Stanton's and get like actual home, grass-fed beef and real chickens and stuff like that. But let's be real, I'm not gonna drive 30 minutes into Alvin and go get that multiple. How many times do I go to the grocery store in a week? 4 or 5 times. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go to Stanton's.
It's tough
Yeah.
too. Like it's the healthier you
I would
want to
love
eat, the
to,
more
but-
expensive it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Like it's
And they do that for a fucking purpose.
Of course
Say
they
that
do.
you have a lease and you're harvesting your own meat or whatever, and that is the best. No matter what meat it is, as long as it's comes from a pasture and it doesn't have to be processed, it's the best. No matter what you do, and I'm glad that
Well, of
we're
course.
aware of that, and that's what we're attempting to do.
Yes, I think our message is fasting is good
Fasting good
in general. Like
in general.
just fast.
Man, just do 10 hours a day. Start off with that.
The way
Jesus, sleep.
I started is I pushed it till okay, I'm not gonna eat the first thing until 10 a.m.
Yep.
And I did that for a little while. Then I said I'm gonna push it till 11.
Yep.
And it's like okay, push it
You
till
can
noon.
anybody can easily do a 12-hour fast. You don't eat past 8 p.m. and you don't eat until 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yes.
you're sleeping most of that time.
Yes,
That's where
you're
you
sleeping.
Start,
The number
Yeah.
that I usually hear on a daily fast is normally around like 18 hours. That's like
Sure,
kind of
but-
the ideal.
But you can
But that's
start
an
off
easy
with.
start.
It is.
You can
yeah.
start off with 12.
Yeah, start with 12 and get to 14. I mean, it's
Go
just
to sleep.
Yeah,
Go
you
to
just
sleep
got,
and
you just
wake
got to
up.
have a little bit of want to do.
Yeah.
it.
Don't eat past back in the day. I wouldn't eat past 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah,
And
but
then
then
I would eat breakfast.
You still really don't.
Yeah. It's all about intake, like you said.
all right.
Pretty
after,
interesting.
After the health portion of the show,
What's the next subject?
You're talking about stabbing somebody.
Yeah, in the news, that chick stabbed her boyfriend 183 times, and then goes
'cause
on
she-
bail.
because
Oh.
that's in
She was
that's in
high.
California, and they did something to where they say if you're stoned.
Yeah, if you're stoned, it's okay.
Yeah, so they just gave a free license for any stoner to kill people.
Well, how
Yeah,
about
but nobody.
how about the 7 guys today in New York that beat up 2 cops in the subway and they got released without bail?
Yeah, it was it
Immigrants.
was illegal.
Immigrants.
Yeah, illegal immigrants in New York. Did you see that?
7
7 dudes
Seven
took on
illegal
2
immigrants beat up
police
2
officers,
cops
a
in, like, a
lieutenant
subway.
and a cop. It was a lieutenant and a cop.
And then they got released, no bail, nothing, and they walk out and they're just fucking flipping the bird and shit.
To all the news media.
And they're just illegal immigrants.
Dude, I'd drag the
What did I
fuck
say
out.
last time? Last podcast, you got rid of the Indians because they shot up all the buffalo. We need to shoot up all the tortillas.
No,
No.
I like tortillas too.
all we just need a border wall.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just definitely.
That's all you need. Just build the wall. Build the wall.
God dang. It just, my dad's married to a legal Mexican citizen, and
Native.
she's a school teacher now, and she did it all the right way. That's what you need to do. It's not, you just don't overcome our border walls and put a burden on our healthcare system and then a burden on our pocketbooks because we're paying for all that. And when somebody that's paying taxes needs to go to the emergency room and your kid's got burns or a broken arm, you can't even get into the emergency room because you have these illegals coming in there because they have a sniffling nose.
Well,
That is not right.
Do you
I'll
know
tell how
who?
to solve this.
That's why you
No,
have an
he's
urgent
saying
case.
this from experience. That actually happened. I got burnt. Hank broke her arm, and we were in the emergency room for 4 hours before we
Yeah,
got
she had her eyeball knocked out with the golf ball, and there was probably 87 illegals in the emergency room. We had to go to
We
a
ended up
minor
being-
emergency
yeah.
just to get seen. They
Not
stitched
to
her up.
mention, not to mention, I even came in by ambulance and I'm bleeding out of my eye, my cut, my nose, my mouth. I'm bleeding out of my face.
We pay our taxes. We pay for insurance
Came in freaking
We do it right.
via ambulance. So and that was told
by a police
by a
officer.
police officer. Go in by ambulance. You'll get seen first. And I was like, all right. So we
Nope.
go in by ambulance. Nope. Put me in the waiting room.
3
Sat
hours
there,
bleeding
yeah.
out of her eyeball, and we're like, we ain't doing this. And we went to a minor emergency.
Should have just
And-
started. You went in there screaming. Ah!
It's my heart.
They gave me this like thing. It was round. It looked like a big condom. Okay, it was round, and I was supposed to spit in it. I damn near filled that thing up with blood.
Yeah, her nasal
Spitting,
passages are bleeding.
blood,
Everything's
and they-
bleeding.
Just no, they're good.
They're like, now you sit there, and there were
I'd
people
have
going,
dumped that bitch on the floor and
No
started
one-
hawking loogies
No
all
one
over
had
that
even. I
motherfucker.
hadn't done a CT scan. I could have had something
Could've been
seriously
dead.
wrong with me. Yeah,
I'm sure you had brain damage.
I didn't. I got a
From
CT
this,
scan.
I'm sure.
I
I know
got a
you had
CT
brain
scan and
damage.
everything's
Here's how you solve this problem. All the people that are fucking confirmed rapists, child molesters, murderers, we're paying for them to hang out in there and just twiddle their fucking thumbs until they either
You're
get
talking about
killed or
prisons.
maybe they die. As soon as they're convicted, fucking execution. No child molester, rapist needs to live. And if you're a murderer, eye for an eye, you're dead. Fucking game over.
Yeah,
Don't
that's,
pay for them.
That's not gonna happen.
The
but-
fucking troublemaking illegals, put them in prison so they don't get sent back for another retry to come back in.
Have y'all seen what's going on in El Salvador?
I'd rather pay
No.
for a beaner to be
What's
in
going
there
on
than-
in El Salvador?
El Salvador got a new president maybe like a year or two ago, and he basically and El Salvador was the number one like
That's where a lot of
highest.
these illegals are coming from.
Yeah, they do, but there was the world's number one highest homicide rate. He came in. I can't remember his name. He's really cool. He came in and basically locked. He said, "We're going to
Clean house.
round up every one of these criminals, gang members. They threw them all in prison." This past year, I think if they didn't have, they might have had one homicide.
You're kidding me.
Dude, it's like one of the safest places to be now because all he did was a very common sense thing. He took every bad person and locked them up, and they
yeah,
have
but
no
didn't
crime.
they here recently have like some civil unrest because he put like a very high profile cartel drug guy or whatever, and he ended up like breaking out and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't that in El Salvador?
I'm not sure. I just know that in general, like he's completely turned that country around, and it was just one simple thing. It's just it's opposite of what we're doing. We are allowing anyone and everyone, criminals, terrorists, whoever you are, to come into the country, and he did the opposite. He just said, "Nope, we're not doing that, and we're going to lock up every criminal we got."
Murder,
Awesome. I like it.
fell 70%.
That is amazing. 70%.
El Salvador says murders fell 70% in 22-23 as it cracked down on gangs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm pretty sure it was El Salvador. 154 murders were committed last year, down from 495 the year before. A homicide rate of 2.4 per 100,000 people.
Well, you know, another person that actually that told people said, no, we need closed borders. We need to watch our border. We need to lock people up. Was Barack Obama. Like back in the day, if you go look back at some of his quotes, he said flat out, like, we have to have a secure border. We can't let people like jump in front of people who are coming through the process correctly. Like everything that we're talking about, same thing Trump's saying. Barack Obama said the same thing. So
Well,
did,
because
so
he
did
knows
Bill
because
Clinton.
he was illegal too.
But he was, yeah, could be. But they will tell you anything that
Just
you
to
want to
get the
hear.
vote.
It doesn't matter. They will lie and they will lie and they will lie again to your face over and over. He did it. Bill Clinton. They all said the same thing. They said talk about how secure the border needs to be, but in the whole time they're telling you that in the public sphere. But then what they're really doing behind the scenes is the total opposite.
Right. They want them to come over for votes. They want to come over. It's like, hey, we'll give you this, and if we
They
call
want us
you
to
up,
self-implode. That's what they
if
want.
Yeah,
we call
they
you
want
up,
civil war. They
Yeah,
want social
yeah.
unrest.
they
What
control
happens
us
during
by
war?
chaos. Yeah, it's that's the military machine.
No, they're trying to. They
But
want.
I don't know about civil war. Civil war would be.
Oh, I think they want civil war.
think
I don't
they do
know
too.
who would win on that, except for extermination of the population.
Did you see how Russia is saying that if Texas wants to secede from the Union, they'll fully support it and they'll weaponize us? Have you seen that?
No, I didn't see
Yeah, I
that.
just saw that today.
What?
Russia is like fully backing us, wanting to protect our border in Texas, and Putin's all like, "Go ahead,
Well, you know.
send y'all weapons."
Well, you know,
if
Abbott
want."
Abbott was over in India.
in India. Yeah.
Well, and India's a big player. I mean, India's it's a good country. I mean, they do a lot of good things. But I think aren't they part of the BRICS? You know, they have the BRICS nations now, which is like some of the Saudi countries,
Oh, I don't know.
Russia. I can't remember there's if you look it up though, like the BRICS nations, they formed this alliance, and they're gonna kind of change like the way they do things monetarily.
Okay, let's say that Russia funds.
It's Brazil,
Texas.
Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and UAE.
Okay, let's say that they fund us, and we go,
Wow.
yes, we're gonna succeed from the union.
Succeed, not succeed.
Sussy.
Okay, and then we have, and so everybody's like, oh, we're against Texas. Texas wipes out half of the United States because that's what we do, and then it's like, oh, now Russia's like, well, they only have half the people because the Texans just whooped that ass,
But you know what?
and then they
If-
come invade.
If that happened, we have protectors all
They're
over the
80
north
miles
and
away
the
from
east
our
side of us.
continent.
It's only the Westerners we got to worry about.
Russia is like 80 miles away from our.
Russia don't want to come into this country and invade
Oh, hell
nothing,
no.
man. They're just, you know, and I don't know. I really don't want to say it because people get upset by it, so I'm not going to say it.
Fucking
all
say it.
All I'm going
How
to
many
say, all I'm
miles-
going to say is that Russia is not the country that most people perceive it to be.
Oh, I agree with
I
that.
don't.
How many miles is the Russian border away from Alaska?
Let him finish his thought.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, you can pick and choose, and you can say a lot of you know, you can say Vladimir Putin's a killer and done this and that, but in the same realm, the United States presidents killers like in their own right. They've killed
Of course.
hundreds of thousands,
course.
like all over the world, invading countries and doing all.
Yeah.
We're not innocent by any means.
Yeah, we're not innocent. How far away is the Russian border from Alaska? I think it's like 80 miles.
It ain't far.
No, it's like from here to Cuba.
Did they ever own Alaska?
We bought Alaska from.
I don't know how we got Alaska. That'll be interesting.
We bought it.
Because it's you know, when you look at it, what you got, you know, the Central 48 states, then you got, you know, Hawaii, which that's kind of interesting. I've seen stuff on Hawaii, how we acquired Hawaii,
Yeah, we.
and it was basically just a strategic jump off point. And one of the reasons we acquired Hawaii, and they forcefully did it.
We forcefully.
Yes,
The
and it's
queen,
because
they
it's-
forcefully made the queen give it to us.
Yeah, but it's
Like
worse.
at gunpoint.
So that makes sense, and maybe Alaska is the same way because it's weird, you know, because we got the Central 48, we're separated by Canada, which is gigantic, and then you
Yep.
got Alaska sitting out there.
Yeah.
You know, why was Alaska important? Why did we get it? I mean, is it oil? Is it, you know, what is it?
Nobody wanted it. I don't think the USSR wanted it for some reason. They're like, oh, we can't do anything. We have to cross this big body of water or whatever.
I wonder when Alaska. I don't know when Alaska became a United States state. Like how long ago that was. Or Hawaii. Hawaii, I think it happened sometime in maybe
Alaska's
like the,
not a state.
what? Alaska's a state.
Yeah.
Alaska's a state.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. I'm thinking Puerto Rico.
That's a territory.
Yeah, it's a territory.
Alaska's definitely a state.
Yeah.
Is Alaska separated by Canada?
Yes.
You have to go through Canada to get to our state. This is by
Do you need-
Canada.
If you're driving.
We can't buy the crown owns Canada, man.
Prince Henry's gonna let us have it.
Prince William, Prince
Henry?
Charles,
King Charles now.
King Charles,
King Charles.
which will soon. I hear he's gonna
got
drop
pro-
out.
yeah, he's
I
got
hear he's gonna
prostate or
drop
something
out,
like that.
and William will end up taking over, which makes sense. I'm sure he will.
Huh?
You ain't heard
Her
that?
and Camilla. Or
Camille?
Catherine.
What's his? Catherine is William's wife.
William
and then
and
what's
Catherine.
Prince? What's King?
Camilla.
Camilla.
Oh,
Queen
Camilla.
Camilla
Yeah.
and King Charles.
Yeah, I think you'll see him step down in the near future for maybe till. I don't know if he'll go till he dies.
He's a.
I don't know a lot about him, man. I don't really know. I don't trust any of them
I
British
know.
royalty,
Yeah,
man.
I know. He was best friends with that pedophile, that comedian pedophile on the TV.
Oh,
white
Jimmy,
hair.
Jimmy something. Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Seville. Or
Seville.
Fallon. No, it's not Jimmy Fallon, is it?
Jimmy Seville.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, Savile. Yeah.
Yeah, world class pedophile.
Yeah.
They're all buds.
Dirty birds. Dirty, dirty, dirty.
What we got next, Max?
Noses. Let's talk about the noses.
Breaking the noses off.
I don't. How did you get on this, anyways?
Man, because I saw something, and this is what this commentator was saying. He goes, the Egyptian, the Ethiopian, the more of the dark-skinned statues of pharaohs, kings, people of notoriety back in thousands of years ago, their noses were defaced. They were chipped off, knocked off, or whatever, and then they made a comparison to like the Roman statues and Greek statues that their noses weren't.
I don't think it has anything to do with skin color, man.
it.
It has to do.
supposedly
It
had
has to
with-
do with belief systems and like the religious practices.
Well, that's why I brought it up because I didn't know. I didn't know. So supposedly I think you brought it up. The Christians knocked off the noses.
No, I said the Christians like went worldwide and just conquered nations and people.
And then there was like the conspiracy was Napoleon, when he went to Egypt, shot off the Sphinx's nose.
I know he went specifically down to Egypt, and like I think he might have been one of the first people that actually like uncovered the Sphinx, because it's at certain times the Sphinx has been buried, like almost completely or almost up to its head.
Right.
But I think he went down there with like archaeologists and stuff, and I think they might have uncovered the Sphinx.
Have you heard that the more that they dig deeper underneath the pyramids, they're finding larger stones?
No.
Yeah, there's like a base. There's like a huge base. It's like a
Well-
huge foundation beneath the pyramids.
There is a foundation of bedrock that does rest underneath the pyramids, but then that's why they're able to stand where they stand, because you can't build a structure like that with that mass
Like
unless
on
you have.
clay?
Yeah, no, it would just sink. Like
Right,
so,
like
yeah,
our
there is
homes
a
here in
foundation.
Texas. In southeast Texas.
Yeah, that's why you gotta like drill it in the ground, and piers
Yeah.
and stuff. But no, it does sit on like a bedrock foundation. So before they even built the pyramids, though, you're talking about the Giza pyramids
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
they had to go in and take the bedrock and flatten it all out to form like the
How many
foundation.
feet under the sand do you think that is?
I don't think it's underneath the sand. I don't know what the elevation is, but that sand changes out there. It blows around and it forms dunes. That's why at times the Sphinx was totally covered by sand.
Yeah. Well, do you think the Sphinx was covered when the Giza plateau was a marshy, plentiful tropical area?
No, it was fully exposed completely.
Man, that's crazy.
But that's a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
That's what most people they think. What does everybody say? They think the Sphinx and the pyramids were built in 2500 BC.
Yeah, that's not right.
I think that's horseshit.
Yeah.
man.
I want to say that the civilization that built them was wiped out by the meteors in the Younger Dryas age. They were built way before then.
Well, Younger Dryas was like 11, 12,000 years ago, something like
Yep.
that. I think those three pyramids were built right after that. Like
Right after that?
After.
After we lost all our
Yes.
technology?
Yeah, built after.
I don't think that. I think it was built before that when we had all the technology. And then during the Younger Dryas, that's when we lost everything, and then we all became Neanderthal type
But the
people.
pyramids were still standing.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Now I think, or whatever the other big point in time we always look at is like the Great Flood, which I do think existed.
Yes, well, because all the civilizations, all the different religions had the Great Flood in their books.
Yeah, they all
In
talk
their
about a
Bibles.
flood myth. They all talk about a flood myth.
Yeah, I think
No,
it happened.
I think that that happened, but
You
then
think the animal part was true?
what, the Ark?
No, there's no freaking way, brother.
How I mean, think about it.
Throwing
Like,
questions out there.
think about it. How realistic is that? How realistic is it to? Okay, say you build it
Because most of those animals are not even
native to that part of
native
the world.
to that part of the world.
Yeah.
So
There's no way that you could have that ark is not big enough to have 2 of each animal on the planet.
And have the necessary food stores and everything to handle them.
4
Like,
days and 4 nights.
no, it was
They're-
longer than that. They were on that Ark for way longer.
Oh yeah, well that's it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and then when the tides subsided from the Mount Ararat,
Ararat.
yeah, that their timeline's wrong. The all the stories that we hear, they're written by men. Yes, they might be inspired by God, the grand creator. They're still written by men.
Well, and these are also stories that come from a long time ago that were passed on by passed on via just word of mouth, and then at some point written down, and then beyond that they were translated multiple times.
It's like playing telephone with a can and a string. It's like, go to my house. He said he's a mouse.
Yeah, well, that's what I tell you.
Yeah.
When we start talking about like the Bible, like and where the Bible comes from, and like the books of the Bible and everything. I mean, a lot of the stories, like the New Testament stuff that talks about Jesus, wasn't even written down till like 80 to 100 years after his death. And then, so I mean, what changed in those stories between 80 to 100 years? And then once it was even written down, how many times has it been altered and changed, and the story
Or
changed?
perspective. Say that my dad was in Vietnam, and that was
What, 60s?
50. Let's say 50 years ago. I was born in '69. It was still going on.
Okay, so it was
Okay.
in the 60s, yeah.
So 50 years later, my dad's still telling stories about Vietnam in his perspective. Now we know all, false flags, the Tonkin, the Bay of Tonkin,
Bay of
it was a
Tonkin, yeah.
false flag, and all that stuff that they know now. And back then, he's like, fuck them Vietnamese, them zipperhead, or whatever. They were all into it, and then they went over there really for nothing.
Well, honestly, nobody really understood what like a false flag was until recently.
Yeah, because they didn't know.
We all believed that all these events and all these bad things that happened were just organic and they just occurred. When in actuality, like a lot of these things are manufactured. Like,
Yeah.
they are manufactured events, by people in power.
How did Madison get on?
Oh, dang. Oh, that's last week.
Oh, Madison's on.
Okay, man.
Well, I tell you what. You know what? It's not a false flag.
What?
Our conversation.
It was good.
Good.
It was good.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah. Max, how about that outro music?
Yeah. What's that outro music like this evening?
I thought we had something good going on.
We do. We have something special.
We do. See y'all next time.
Later. Love y'all.